What is up, everybody? 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel, bringing you guys another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Transcendence 1, which is a video that I know you guys have been waiting for, as you guys want to know how you guys are going to be tackling this very challenging event coming soon to Global Opera Omnia. But before we talk about Transcendence 1, first of all, if you guys are brand new to this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. That way you guys are not missing out on future uploads. And if you guys enjoy what you see on this channel, be sure to hit that like button and share this video, as it does help me out. Also, I want to point you guys to the Tonberry Troops website. They actually have a full-on guide for Transcendence, which a lot of the information from this video is going to come directly from that. Be sure to check it out. It is a fantastic read-up if you guys want an actual website to read on how to deal with this particular event. Without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Transcendence 1 for Global Opera Omnia. Alright everyone, welcome to my guide for Transcendence, which is going to be coming soon to Global Opera Omnia. Again, reminder, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, a lot of the information that's going to be on this video comes directly from the Tonberry Troops Transcendence guide. Be sure to check that out. We're going to start things off with a general overview of Transcendence, and this applies to all Transcendence events moving forward. Transcendence is unlocked by perfecting Dimensions End 1 through 5. It will feature co-ops, Cosmos, and Chaos stages alongside the main event, which are the 3 stages called Left Crucible, Right Crucible, and Reckoning. Each stage from the main event will have a Lufenia orb. Left and right crucibles will require you to take a party member of a specific color notated below the stage. You cannot use the same characters between the left and right crucibles. Summons and calls are repeatable, however in Reckoning, it will require you to use a party composed of the party members that you used for both the left and right crucibles. Synergy for Transcendence will apply if you take a party member equipped with a burst weapon to apply the synergy bonus to the party. This is widely considered as burst content, however, there have been clears done without bursts on specific crucibles. Now let's go ahead and talk about the rewards earned from Transcendence, and again, this does apply to all Transcendence events moving forward. A total of 5,400 gems can be earned from completing the main event, the co-op, the Cosmos, and the Chaos for Transcendence. A total of 71 tickets can be earned from completing the main event, co-op, Cosmos, and Chaos for Transcendence. A total of 4 burst tokens can be earned. 1 is earned for the Chaos Challenge, and 3 are earned from the main event. You can leave the burst tokens from the main event rewards menu as they do not expire, and this is recommended to claim them only if you need them. 10 pages and 5 nuggets are rewarded from completing the Cosmos and Chaos stages. The permanent rewards are only available from the main event with the Crucibles and Reckoning, so those are the permanent rewards. However, the rewards from the co-op, Cosmos, Chaos, and Chaos challenges are going to be time limited, so make sure to try to get those done as well. Now let's go ahead and talk about the meat of the event, which is going to be the Right Crucible, Left Crucible, and the Reckoning. So Transcendence 1 Right Crucible is going to be requiring you to take a blue crystal character. It's going to be featuring the return of the jeweled turtle bosses, and there's going to be 2 of them this time. The Lufenia orb is going to be appearing at the start of the battle at a 17 count for this fight. It's going to disappear at 79% HP threshold, and it's going to be reappearing again at the 49% HP threshold at a 15 count. You can increase the orb's count by launching them, and it is going to be increased by +8. Some boss notes for this particular fight. They are both highly resistant to fire and melee damage, so keep that in mind. They will be retreating into their shells very frequently, gaining 60k Brave and reducing the Brave damage they receive to 1 until they are launched. So make sure to launch them when they're in the state, so then that way you could start dealing a normal amount of damage to them. You're going to have to watch out for their Ray Stone and Sparkle Stream attacks, as they do deal a lot of damage. They typically will use this when they come out of their shell retreat. Now when they use something called Jewel Brilliance, they will cleanse all non-frame debuffs, gain another massive amount of Brave, receive reduced HP damage, and they're only going to be taking 1 Brave damage until they are either launched or take a turn. Some key strategies for this particular Crucible: launch, insta-break or force break characters, gravity, and damage mitigation. Now let's go ahead and talk about Transcendence 1 Left Crucible, which is going to be requiring you to take a white crystal character. The bosses featured for this are going to be 2 target sniper bosses, which are familiar if you guys did the Zack event. The Lufenia Orb for this is going to be appearing at the start of the battle at a 10 count, and it's going to be remaining throughout the entire fight. You can increase the orb by dealing holy damage to the bosses, which will be increasing the orb by +5. Now, at the start of the battle, both enemies will target themselves, followed by a powerful single-target Brave plus single-target HP attack. They will also frequently use AoE Brave plus AoE HP attacks that will hit you hard. And in the latter parts of the fight, they're going to be using an AoE attack, and then afterwards they're going to target themselves, which will cause them to gain a massive amount of Brave, and they're going to reduce all incoming Brave damage to 1 until they are broken. Keep in mind, though, that this only happens to one enemy at a time, but if you are unable to break them, they will unleash a very powerful single-target Brave plus HP attack that deals quite a bit of HP damage. Now, some key strategies for this particular Crucible. Holy Enchant and Imperil are a must, because that is how you're going to control the orb. Insta-break or force break characters when you deal with that phase. Characters that use HP attack silence, damage mitigation. Gravity can be helpful to shave them down during that phase where they take only 1 Brave damage. And then turn delay or turn deletion, so then that way you could keep them at bay from acting. Now let's go ahead and talk about the final part, which is the Reckoning. So Transcendence 1 Reckoning is a 2-wave fight featuring 2 effect monsters and 2 flame masks. We're all pretty familiar with effect. They first came out during the Ultimisia event. So for this one, the Lufenia Orb appears at the start of the battle at a 13 count. It disappears at the 79% HP threshold, and it's going to be reappearing again at the 49% HP threshold. You can increase the orb by inflicting 2 debuffs a turn by +2. Now, the Wave 2 is going to be featuring the Flame Masks. These guys have a Lufenia Orb that appears at the 79% HP threshold at a 10 count, and it's going to remain throughout the entire fight. The orb will stay frozen if any one of your party members' HP is at 100% or greater. Now it's time for the boss notes for the Reckoning. Wave 1. Take note that 2 debuff Lufenia Orb condition, you can actually fulfill that if you inflict 1 debuff on each target at the same time. So for example, if for example you inflict attack down on one of them and then it also inflicts on the other one during that 1 turn that you take, it's going to count towards the orb count. So that's how the debuff Lufenia Orb condition will be fulfilled. Now when one of them reaches the 79% and 49% HP threshold, they're both going to gain a blue aura, they're both going to be gaining a huge amount of Brave, they're going to delay themselves, and at the same time, they're also going to reduce Brave damage taken by 1, and they're going to reduce all HP damage taken by 70%. You can remove this by either breaking them or allowing them to act. Something you want to note about that blue aura is it also comes back when either one of them is at 30% HP or less, and they will also get that blue aura after they use their Banishing Gaze attack. The bosses will be using Brave plus HP attacks if you leave them unbroken when they take their turn. This time, though, they will not be cleansing their debuffs, nor will they be dispelling buffs, unlike their previous fights that we did for the Ultimisia event. Now, Wave 2 is going to be one of the more difficult fights for this. This is the final fight for Transcendence 1. First of all, these bosses absorb fire and they are weak to the holy element. The Flame Masks will be entering their most dangerous state at the 79%, 49%, and 29% HP thresholds. In this pink flame phase, they will regenerate 86,000 HP on every party member's turn, and at the same time, they will also drain that party member's HP by 50%. And if both of them have this pink flame phase active, they will both get the 86,000 HP regeneration. You can cancel this effect out by launching them. Take note that if they do regenerate their HP above the mentioned thresholds that we just talked about, and then you hit them below that threshold, they will not reactivate that pink flame phase again. They utilize frequent HP attacks, and they also have a very powerful recast ability in the form of a single target Brave plus single target HP attack. Also, you want to note that if you do take one out first, the other one will not enrage. Some key strategies for this. Damage mitigation is going to be key, HP overflow, which is also known as burst healing, launch, insta-break or force break, gravity, turn delay and deletion, multiple debuffs inflicted at a time, and turn disablement are going to be very key in order to be able to tackle the Reckoning stage for these Transcendence 1. Now, as far as recommended characters go for Transcendence 1, I tiered them up based on, personally, what I used and also what some other folks use that I looked up on YouTube and also talked to the community. So, for God tier for Transcendence 1, upon its release, we're going to have Paladin Cecil, Gabranth, Cloud, and Kais. Those are going to be your God tier characters. S tier is going to be Kryl, Ramza, Dark Knight Cecil. A tier, I have Kuja, Gladio, Rude, a mid-Italian, Exdeath, Arciela, Hope, Pinello, Caius, Vivi, and Balthier. And then honorable mentions, I have Trey, 8, Vincent, Kefka, and Strago. So like I mentioned earlier with my Paladin Cecil video and my Gabranth video, this particular Transcendence is really selling these characters because both of those characters can deal with a lot of the mechanics that you're going to be encountering with this Transcendence 1. And then Cloud is also very good for this. I do want to mention something though, is that in JP, before this came out, Squall and Cloud actually got their LD boards, and Squall also got his rework, because I actually took Squall to this because Squall got his upgrades. However, as we know, on the global side of the game, we're not getting Squall's LD boards and reworks just yet. So, I mean, you guys can still try to use him, but you're not going to get the same amount of performance value out of him unless you wait for his LD boards and rework. So that's just something to note, because in the photo that I showed for this, in this video, that's the exact team compositions that I took, and I did take Squall to the left Crucible, and by that time on the JP side of the game, he did have his LD boards and he did have his rework. A friendly reminder before I close this video out, remember guys, this is permanent content. Sure, you might miss out on the co-op, Cosmos, and Chaos stages. However, I know most of you are going to be tackling those first, so then that way you guys take advantage of those time-limited rewards. But the actual bulk of the event, which is going to be the Crucibles and the Reckoning, that's permanent content. So if you cannot do the content right away, if you don't have the resources for Paladin Cecil or Gabranth or some of the characters that I mentioned, do not fret. It's not the end of the world. It's not the doomsday, all right? You could wait for other characters to come out, and then you could always come back to this, and you could always beat it and also get the rewards at the same time. And you can also look up some videos, because there's a video out there where somebody did, I believe it was Reckoning, and they took a party of non-burst characters, but they took a party of characters who get their LD weapons after Transcendence 1 has already been out for a few months. So if you want to go that route, you could go that route too, or if you want to go the route of waiting for the Start Dash banner, so then that way Global will have access to Squall's really powerful LD extension boards and rework, then you can do that and then come back to Transcendence 1 and try it again. But remember guys, no rush. The most important thing is to have fun. This is considered burst content. This is considered endgame content right now for Global Opera Omnia. Hopefully this video helps you guys prepare for the upcoming Transcendence 1 event in Global Opera Omnia. This is 40 the Broadway Saiyan signing out. Mahal everyone.